Welcome to the show, and welcome to Glow So Bright. This is a recent RED4CE tracking report, written and published on March 16, 2026. Precedence is routine. Bottom line up front. Islamic extremist terror attacks more frequent in the United States. Emerging anarcho-career group appears in the Pacific Northwest. North Texas Antifa cell convicted federally. Major protest in Virginia on new gun control legislation. Activity occurs in Cuba. Over at the home front, Jake Lang, a kosher right figurehead in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots and present in Minnesota in early 2026, as well as the subject of an attempted IED attack in New York City on March 7, 2026, was caught in a decoy sting operation where he allegedly texted sexual advances on what he thought was a 15-year-old girl. Over in Michigan, on March 12, 2026, during the afternoon just before 1300 local time at the Temple Israel Synagogue at 5725 Walnut Lake Road, west of Orchard Lake Road and east of Drake in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan. A man attacked the temple by ramming his vehicle into the main entrance of the structure, exchanging small arms fire with the security team until he became neutralized by return fire from the security team present. After the vehicle crashed, it ignited and caught fire. Immediately afterwards, shots were fired. The attacker was the only individual killed in the incident. A temple security officer was injured in the gunfire and was taken to a local hospital for treatment. During the incident, there was a significant law enforcement response presence. The attacker is identified as Ayman Mohammed Ghazali of Dearborn Heights, age 41. According to the Department of Homeland Security, he was born in Lebanon on January 4, 1985. He entered the United States on May 10, 2011, at Detroit Metropolitan International Airport on an IR-1 immigrant visa as a spouse of a U.S. citizen after alien relative and fiancé petitions filed in December 2009 were approved in April 2010. He applied for naturalization on October 20, 2015, and was granted U.S. citizenship on February 5, 2016, under the Obama administration. Ghazali was reported to purchase large quantities of fireworks, worth $2,250.96 total on March 10, 2026, in a Livonia, Michigan Phantom Fireworks retail store, presumably to be used as a precursor to create a vehicle-borne IED involved in the attack. It is reported that relatives of Ghazali were members of a Hezbollah rocket battery unit. Family members of Ghazali were killed in an Israeli drone strike. Over in Virginia, on March 12, 2026, shortly before 1100 local time at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, an active shooter entered an ROTC classroom and targeted students and instructors present. After the gunman initially shoots the instructor, identified as Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw, the students immediately attacked the active shooter, beating him to death while another student deployed a pocket knife and stabbed him 22 times. 2 additional victims were wounded in the attack. The suspect is identified as Mohammed Baylor Jallow, a naturalized citizen from Sierra Leone, and was a former Virginia National Guardsman who was convicted of attempting to carry out a terrorist attack a la the Fort Hood shooting under allegiance to ISIS. Jallow was arrested previously on July 2, 2016 for attempting to purchase a Bushmaster AR-15 rifle at the Blue Ridge Arsenal gun store and firing range in Chantilly, Virginia, after giving cash to an undercover FBI agent, a UCE, who he thought was a member of ISIS. Jallow was imprisoned in 2017 until being released in 2024. The weapon used in the attack is identified as a Glock 44, 22 long rifle, caliber handgun with a partially altered serial number. The individual who sold the handgun to Jallow, Kenya Chapman, is a straw purchaser of firearms known to the ATF, and was given a simple warning from the ATF in 2021, during the Biden administration. Analysts comment, the cadets involved in the counterattack have shown great courage and gallantry, and skills in badassery. It also shows a weakness in weapons control policies, as weapons were prohibited in the campus, but that policy was quickly ignored by the suspect, and that was stopped and successfully subdued and neutralized by a student ignoring the same policy with a pocket knife. At the state capitol in Richmond, Virginia, on March 14, 2026, an anti-gun control rally was formed during the afternoon as a response to state legislature pending signature from Governor Spangenberger of an unconstitutional assault weapons ban, as well as a ban on so-called high-capacity magazines. Multiple groups are present during the protest with various political ideologies against the gun control legislature. Magpul, a company within the firearms industry known for the sale and manufacture of firearms accessories and textile goods, were giving away free standard AR-15 pattern magazines to the protesters on site, and have posted the state flag on X. The American Communist Party has also been present to protest against the gun control legislation. The Virginia Cacoas have also been present in the area, pivoting from their appearance as a constitutional militia to a Boogaloo-aligned militia, as evidenced by their shift from multicam uniforms to Hawaiian shirts and Boogaloo patches. Religious Christian groups are also present to protest against a gun control legislation. A key official who is a key figure against the gun control legislation and was present in the protest was U.S. Congressman John McGuire. State Capitol Police has approached a member of the Virginia Cocoas armed with a suppressed rifle with their claims of that member breaking new local ordinance of not allowing suppressors to be present. The two police officers who approached the member left without any known action afterwards. An officer claimed that it was ordinance, according to using ChatGPT. No outbursts of violence have been reported, and no arrests have been reported either. Analysts comment, this protest is one of many which have appeared at the state capitol, with most of the times happening previously as the occurrence of proposed gun control legislation of a similar variety to the proposed one, such as Governor Ralph Northam supporting similar legislation and using emergency powers to ban firearms in the vicinity of the Capitol on January 20, 2020. A plot by the nihilistic accelerationist group, The Base, has been stopped by the FBI for a plot to attack the aforementioned protest in a coordinated attack. The Virginia Cocoas, a group known for their presence in armed protests at the state capitol, have been involved in several such events. Notably, they participated in a protest on July 2024 and January 19, 2026. Key figures within the Cocoas, including Cody Beckner, also known as Warrant Officer Sasquatch, have been prominent in these demonstrations. The Virginia Cocoas has been the subject of previous Glow So Bright reporting, primarily focusing on the unit's general composition and the involvement of a former member, Russell Richardson Vane IV, also known as Duke. Duke had attempted to organize a unit to assemble HME, and was subsequently arrested on an FBI-issued warrant for attempting to assemble a WMD. On January 19, 2026, the Virginia Cocoas reverted to aligning with the Boogaloo militia movement. Magpul has supported similar protests at state capitals in regards to magazine bans, such as in 2018 in Vermont as well as in 2013 in Colorado. Over in Texas, a suspicious man has entered Zwink Elementary School in Killeen, Texas with tactical gear and a holstered firearm at approximately 13:30 local time on March 11, 2026. According to the criminal complaint, he entered the school and made it to the front office after a visitor failed to fully secure the door behind him. The suspect was reported by a school employee to have a dark or green-colored military-style uniform, a load-bearing vest, a taser, as well as a holstered pistol. The suspect was arrested at 18:30 local time on the same day for felony arrest with possession of a prohibited firearm. The suspect is identified as Kyle Najim Chris, also known as Muji Mohanad Najim, age 39, of Killeen, Texas. On March 13, 2026, 9 members of the North Texas Antifa cell were convicted by a grand jury of using weapons and explosives, providing material support to terrorists, obstruction, and attempted murder of an Alvarado police officer and unarmed correctional officers at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center on July 4, 2025. Trial evidence demonstrated that collectively, the Antifa cell acquired over 50 firearms in the Fort Worth, Dallas area prior to July 4, 2025. The ringleader of the cell, Benjamin Song, faces a minimal penalty of 20 years and a maximum of life imprisonment. He was found guilty with the charges of attempted murder of officers and employees of the United States, discharging a firearm during and in relation to and furtherance of a crime of violence and other related crimes. The rest of the members face a minimum federal sentence of 10 years up to 40 years in prison. 16 defendants total were tried and sentenced as part of the attack. FBI Director Kash Patel has stated, today's verdict shows the FBI remains committed to identifying, locating, and dismantling Antifa and its funding networks across the country. Acts of violence against our law enforcement partners will not be tolerated, and we will continue our work to protect communities across the country from domestic terrorism. Analysts comment, this topic has been extensively covered in multiple times in previous Glow So Bright reporting under Benjamin Song, the Benjamin Song Cell, or about the attack on the Prairieland ICE facility on July 4, 2025. While the cell has faced justice, one thing that would be a concern would be if a future president pardons him, such as historically in the case of Bill Clinton pardoning Susan Rosenberg, known as a financial chair for Thousand Currents, the parent organization for the Black Lives Matter organization, who previously was sentenced for a role involved in U.S. Capitol bombing in 1983, as well as other federal buildings, as part of the May 19th Communist Organization. The Guardian and The Intercept has merely called this armed cell anti-ICE protesters, despite the group clearly engaging in coordinated armed assault by opening fire with firearms at personnel present, or that the group was wearing all black as part of an IFF indicator and uniform as part of an organized unit. Over in the Pacific Northwest, an emerging anarcho-queer group has appeared in the wild. The unit appears to have cryptic black as their uniform with transgender flag patches as their IFF. Size of the unit is unclear, but possibly a fireteam-sized element with the known presence of at least 3 individuals.
You know what's coming. If my thumb slips off this hand...
Fire.
I don't even know where I am right now.
Hell yeah. Shooter ready?
Not a day in my life. Oh, geez.
It is unclear who the leader of this unit is, but one key individual goes by the alias of VXLTVRE, or Vulture, or Perok, which means prophet in Slavic languages such as Russian, who exhibits traits and behavior not unlike a mass shooter, like the suspect in the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Location of the unit is in the Pacific Northwest, with social media postings of a Home Depot in Portland, Oregon. Weapons identified in the unit is a Beretta 92 FS handgun, an AKM pattern rifle, an AR-15 pattern rifle, equipped with a SEG MSR Gen 2 red dot reflex sight and a 3-powered Juliet Prism magnifier. Analyst comment: the presence of the group is confirmed, yet any sort of major leads from direct primary sources have been deleted, forcing analysis of archived information from other individuals. Without additional data being present, it is difficult to be more granular of the details of this unit in particular. While I don't have any conclusive evidence in my reports about the presence of God, it certainly shows the evidence of demons existing. In a request for information, the analyst, myself, has been questioned if this is Doll Squad. It is not Doll Squad, but another group, which have alarmed others within the Pacific Northwest. But hey, this would make a pretty interesting character for the spin-off into PSYOP anime. Internationally over in Cuba, the Communist Party headquarters in Morón, Cuba, has been burned in the second week of March. Protesters have ransacked the building before torching it. Cuban security forces have opened fire on the protesters, with at least one individual being shot. Billboards featuring communist figureheads such as Che Guevara and Karl Marx have been defaced with messages roughly translated to English as anti-totalitarianism. Cuba's national power grid is reported to be in a state of collapse with a nationwide blackout. This has been due to a lack of petroleum imports to the country ever since Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro was captured by U.S. forces in January 2026. The Democratic Socialists of America has announced that 20 DSA members are joining the newest American convoy on March 21st. Analyst comment: the DSA has operated alongside Roy Singham-backed networks such as the Party for Socialism and Liberation. With the weakening of Cuba, it can help degrade information warfare and human intelligence operations against the United States as backed by intelligence organizations operated by Fernando González Yort, such as Instituto Cubano de Amistad con los Pueblos, ICAP. This can also degrade PSL-supported organizations such as Armed Careers SLC. A companion text piece for this video version of the report can be found on the X page at GSB_actual. From there you can find sources for the information provided in this intelligence report. This video is brought to you by Glossobrite Actual, published and written on March 16, 2026. Lead analyst is Glossobrite Actual. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, and happy Gary Plauche Day, the best father ever.